Hello. I just got this new am I centered? Hold on. Okay, we're perfect. Perfect. Hello, welcome. I just got this screen deck, and it's pretty awesome. Hey, Transiner. Welcome. I was just talking about my stream deck that I bought. It's fun. I set up all the stuff today.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Baby steps. And I started stream, and then as soon as I started stream, I forgot to fill up my watcher. So I just went and did that. But I'm here now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I downloaded a bunch of new sounds, but I haven't made them yet.
Rude.
You can do commands. If you just want sounds, you can just do exclamation point S. Wow. Yes. I need to prune them a bit. I feel like there's a lot. Most of them are just noises. But, you know. So yeah. Do I have gift in there? Or is it? No. It's S gift.
I want my painting back.
The painting was a gift, Todd. I'm taking it with me.
No worries. No worries. The sounds are fun. I like sounds. So yeah, I downloaded a lot more.
The thing is, Bob, it's not that I'm lazy. It's that I just don't care.
Everyone loves sounds. Good soundboard, right? I'm trying not to do the basic ones besides like clap. You know, you gotta have like an applause clap, right? Oh yeah, so I downloaded a lot more. I haven't added them yet though. I would like to do that. Every time I do stream stuff on stream, like stream configuration stuff on stream, nobody seems to be interested, so I'll do it off stream sometime, and then I'll add some more. I like that I just got this little thing now, so I can push buttons whenever I need to. Oh, which reminds me, I've got a button to go to task.
We have to get on, we have so much time and so little to do. Strike that, reverse it.
Yes. Strike that, reverse it. So, we've got Directus, Init, and Bootstrap. This is our new project. We've done a few Directus things before, but Directus is a headless CMS, content management system, etc., etc., etc. It's basically a platform, like a CMS platform. It's got a lot of cool features built into it all around. Am I off center? I hate being off center. So we've used it for a couple things. Now we're going to go a little bit. We're going to set up another one, a new site basically. One thing you'll notice is when you try to do it yourself, you come here and they try to get you to create it on their cloud. Their cloud offering is basically, you know, a hosted version of Directus. We're going to self-host because we are skilled enough to do that, and it actually opens up a lot more of the capabilities with Directus when you self-host. It's not expensive to self-host. We're going to do it on Railway. I already have a few apps up there. I had an account, a free account with Railway, and in that free account, it was free. Now it's $5, and they give you a $5 credit for usage. They basically bill you on usage, like, every host does now too, instead of just like a solid flat rate. So I mistook it, and I thought it was, the plan was $5 and you get a $5 credit to make it 0. That's how it kind of used to work, but they changed it now. So basically you have to pay $5. That's the flat rate. And then you get $5 worth of usage for free. So I can run multiple apps. I'm running multiple apps in here right now. They don't run much. I think each of these right now these outer ones are running like less than $1 a month, and then this one's running a little over $2. Oh shoot, my light went out. Hold on. I have a plug. Please hold. Where did it go? There it is. Found it. It's not in the best spot. Okay, we're back. I forgot I moved some things around on stream setup, and when I moved it, I unplugged that light. So it's been running off of battery for the last couple streams. So it's pretty good. It got the 2 streams, I think, and then now it's finally dead. But we've plugged it in. It's good. So what I was saying, this towel basically runs for about $2, a little over $2. So all of this is under $5 right now. I don't mind paying $5 for a host if I can get a bunch of different sites on it. Like this one is $2 because it's running Postgres and Redis and a Python server. I think the Postgres and Redis are what's kind of taking up. Oh no, you know what? It's got WebSockets too. So it's on 24/7 and it's receiving events from Twitch. This is what powers my, what's it called? It's the overlays and all the events from Twitch and chat, stuff like that. Mega API is in development. It's a Directus install, but it's an older version and we don't really use it. We have plans for it, but we've kind of put them on hold. So it's kind of just an idle Directus server, and that's running for less than $1. Prod Scraper is for another project. Unbox Deals that we worked on. This is kind of a backup scraper that I was testing out on Railway. So that's under $1. That doesn't get used much either. So we're going to add a new project, which is going to be a new Directus project. We don't need to add it just yet, but we'll get there eventually. Actually, we do need to add it because we need it for the Postgres, and we could set up Redis as well. I'm not going to do that yet. Redis on top of Directus can give you a cache layer. Is that Directus? I think you can hook up a cache layer on there. I might be just mixing it up with Redwood.js. On Redwood.js, my other site uses Redis for a cache layer. I'm sure Directus has an option as well. But we won't set that up out of the gate, yes. So Directus is a headless content management system. You can use it to build very flexible schemas. You build all of your schemas directly in the admin, and then you can use code to connect to it. Oh wow, they updated this. To connect to it directly from backends, front ends, wherever you got them. So we're going to use it to create our content for our video tutorial site, and then we'll later on build a front end that we're going to use to consume all of this content, basically. This stream, I'm just looking to cover creating the Directus, initializing it, bootstrapping it, they call it, which is installing all their default tables, and then we're going to create some schemas for it, and then we'll deploy all that to Railway. Most of it actually will be deployed on Railway already because we're going to create our database and run directly from Railway there. So we got that going for us. Another cool thing I added to stream is privacy screen. So now if I'm doing stuff on here, I'm going to have to get some database things when I do. I will use that. That was a cool little hack from Salma. What's her name? White Panther. I never know how to spell it right, though. White Panther, shout out. I'm sorry, I don't know how to spell your name. Salma, I know her. So, when you try to go install it on here, you're going to get the cloud project. You don't want a cloud project. You want a local project. And they don't really tell you how to build a local project that easily. They tell you how to do it with Docker. I personally don't like Docker. I think it's a resource hog. It takes up too much memory, too much space, all that junk. So I prefer to run it locally on my machine and then also just run that directly on the server on my own. So somewhere in here they have documentation on how to, well, they also call it a backend as a service. Internal tool builder, data management analytics, create a project, blah, blah, blah. Somewhere they have a, maybe it's in the documentation. User guide, developer reference. So in here, you go here, you follow the quick start. It's always telling you to go to cloud. The way you get to this is all the way at the bottom. There's a self-hosted option, and you can go to quick start there. They show you how to do it with Docker. Again, we're not going to use Docker. I do have one set up like this, and it's okay. I basically ended up making my own little helper to init a new project because I wanted to do it a simpler way. So I've done a lot of this setup. If you kind of follow this, it talks a little bit about the configuration options and stuff. I always configure mine the same way with Postgres. I might connect it to an S3 bucket and connect it to SendGrid for emails. I think that might be it, but I'll show you that I basically end up, they tell you CLI, this is kind of the path that we're going. We followed this path to get to where I'm going. Okay, but basically I made this repo here. So it's called Directus init. It is open source. It is, as you see here, a pre-configured Directus Headless CMS install with PostgreSQL, intended for extension development or self-hosting. I have a few features in here that's going to be targeted towards those. Right now, I'm only on 10.3.0. I haven't upgraded to the new version, 10.5.0 yet, or 10.4 for that matter. There is some new stuff in there. They've been working with a new, which I'll show you, I was interested in about. On their homepage, they've been working with a new API for making requests. This is the new API. So it looks like they've already gone with it. Some of the code you see in the developer docs, or if you're on older installations, which most people probably are, then making the request from the front end won't look like this, but we're not there yet, so it doesn't really matter. We'll be doing that on the next stream. We'll be connecting to it from the front end and pulling down some of the data and then rendering pages and stuff for that. So let's take this. We're going to start with 10.3.0 with Postgres. There's a SQL command in there to help you install location data if you want to support it. I don't think we need it in ours. There's a bash script to save database backups, which is nice if you're migrating from one server to another or something like that, which I might end up doing later on. I might take it off of Railway and put my database on a different server. I'm not positive yet because I have another dedicated database server that I use as well, and that does like daily backups on the content, so I might want to move it there. The API viewer module. So what this does is, this is an open source module someone in the community built, and it allows you to run kind of those API commands directly in the browser. They've got like a Swagger doc style interface where you can run the commands with tokens and all the stuff to test things. So I've included that out of the box. And then additional Directus extensions documentation. I'm writing some out in here. You'll see I have extensions, hooks, and then I'm just writing some basic markdown files. These are kind of additional developer documentation that I found, like little things I wish I knew when I was working. So I'm kind of developing that as I go. I mostly have been involved in hooks so far, so it doesn't cover everything, but I do plan to cover, anything new that I'm going to get into. You'll find the Directus docs themselves are really good at telling you how to do most things. Where's the docs? Developers documentation. Get started. So, kind of going through the Data Studio app, this is a little decent. The Data Studio app is the admin side, basically, where you'll be building out your data structures and writing your content in and all that stuff. They cover that pretty good. API reference talks about a lot of things. Gives you some code samples too, right? Or is this just data structures? And this is just like API endpoints. Some guides. I'm not even sure if I've read through all of these actually, but the extensions, they have different types, and they tell you it's kind of like a reference documentation. It's not really how to build hooks in a good way or anything like that. And there's a lot of things they leave out. So, for example, my docs cover things like these little sample snippets here. A lot of them have you'll see like a callback function receives two parameters, an event-specific meta object and a context object. It's like, okay, that's great. What's on the context object? What's on the event-specific? Like a lot of these hooks and things that come back, like this one has a modifiable payload. It just doesn't really show you any examples of interacting with those. So that's what mine talks about. And they talk a lot about that context, and that context changes depending on whether you're in inside the define hook or inside the hook itself. So you'll see up here there's hook context. In their docs, they usually call this context, and is also a context for the hook event. So it's a little confusing getting those mixed up. I'm trying to sort that out in the documentation, basically. Okay. I think that's it for a pretty good introduction of what we're gonna work on and what we're gonna do. That probably should not have been this task, but it should have been like an intro. Whatever, we'll stick to it. 15 minutes, and it's not too bad.
Hydrate level 4, please.
Buttons coming in handy. Okay. I did start to write a little bit of documentation in here on how to do this. Let me just do something real quick. I want to make sure I didn't leave too many windows open, which I definitely did. Okay, it's going to go to downloads. put it in a web, a dev. I'm gonna move it here. Okay. Okay, so I've got, I'm off to the side again, nobody told me, jeez. Download a zip of this repo and extract it. Downloading a zip of this repo. Okay. Extract it. Did I extract it? I don't think I did. Oh, I did. Move. And I'm going to move this into my dev. Where, what was it called? This is going to be tutorials.ched.dev, I think. Okay. Rename the folder to your project name and change into the new folder. Forgot my CDs. Forgot my CDs. I'm going to try to follow these directions blindly so that I can make sure that... Oh, what the is this thing? So I can make sure it's actually accurate. Change into the new folder, create an inf with the contents of sample. I'm just going to open this in code now. Here is the inf sample. We'll make a new file. We'll call it .inf. We'll paste it in there. The Coppinger. What's up, man? Look at this handsome devil. Yes. Look, I've got that beard too. It's a competition, buddy. Yours is longer, but mine is, I don't know, less red? Okay, I copied those over. Create your Postgres wherever you host. Before we do that, let's see, do we want to change anything in here? We need to update these with the Postgres. Rate limiting is fine. Cache enabled false is fine. I'm going to leave the uploads local for now. You can see I add like, you can add S3 here. S3 driver, S3 root, and your S3 storage stuff. You got to make a key and a secret. And then these default things. I like to make the access token like 1440. What is that, a day? I don't know. Something really long. I've got a couple different spots for the different OAuth if you need to run those. Extensions is the default path. I automatically add the extensions auto reload because why not? You might likely be working on them. And then SendGrid emails are my default. So usually this is like the default if you start from theirs. But I start with SendGrid, so you just got to go get your token, paste it in there. And you create your admin email and password. This is the initial one, the default one. When we run the bootstrap in one of the next steps. So this is basically all you need. The one thing I will need to change is these guys, Postgres database. And we're going to do that in our Railway. So we're ready to create a new project. I'm going to say provision a PostgreSQL. So all of these pretty much do the same kind of thing. What you're really doing here is you're creating a project and then you're just provisioning the first thing automatically. So if I do this, I'll create an empty project and then I'll automatically provision in Postgres. You can do it from a template, you can do it from a GitHub repo. If you do it from a GitHub repo, it's going to deploy an empty project and then basically deploy your code from that GitHub repo to that empty project. These other ones kind of work the same. So if you want to start with an empty project, you want to add them manually, you can do that. Let's do it that way instead of clicking like provision Postgres. I like to do that because I like to name everything. They always give you a weird ass name. Like, you know how you get the generated names, but you get the really weird names here? Heady Smile. Like last time I had like Inconvenient Devil or something. Like they're always really weird. So name this to what you really want. This is just internal to you. This is going to be tutorials site. You can use this project ID later to link it locally, but I think that's it for now. Private projects are only I think this is it. Update. Okay, it changes it up here. I don't know how to run multiple environments. It's interesting. I didn't know you could do that. I'm going to manage some variables in here in a bit, but there are none right now. So you'll see when I go in and I go to create a new service, this is basically the same kind of thing I had before. Ooh, Docker image. Beta, that's new. So one of my problems with Docker is Railway, where I usually deploy, didn't support Docker Compose files. So you can do Docker files, but not Docker Compose files. And I don't understand why a lot of people don't have Docker Compose support. I feel like that would be pretty standard. So I'm going to go to database, Postgres, spinning up a new Postgres. Look at it, it's doing all the work for me. Boom, there it is. So I can click in here, there's my new Postgres. There's no data. When you have data, it shows you the tables in here, which is pretty cool. You can actually, I think you might be able to browse some of the data. You can run a query in here, huh? And then a connection string. So this is, it basically added all of these variables to my project here. But these variable names don't exactly match up with what Directus expects. So I'm going to copy some of them over, or I can point them to, back to these ones. There's some logs. I don't know if those should be red. Metrics and settings. You can run backups. Well, you have to do it kind of manually, but restart the database, wipe it, blah, 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 blah. So I want to take this connection string. Let me see, actually, what did Directus? So they call them all these, like DB stuff. So I don't want to change client, host. That is different. Let me block my screen real quick, and then I'm going to add these, and then we shall be back. I wonder if I can just use the database URL. Okay. I think that's all I'll need to set. Oh no. I need to set the key too. Sorry. Does the key need to be a specific length or anything? I don't think so, right? So I have another project with with a key generator. Let me see, nothing else. I do have a send grid key as well. Hold on, let me add that. Where did I put it? Password the same. Okay. I think I've got them all. Should make that play a sound when I switch it to like lock or unlock, you know? Okay. So now we need to bootstrap. I guess I'll show you this structure real quick. So there's a few tasks in here. These were part of the features that I talked about. One thing I don't mention is there is a Directus extension kind of bundled for you, a bundle basically built in for you with a few examples and whatnot. So you have that there. I recommend building it out of this bundle because it has its own package JSON. And when you have your own package JSON, you can add any of the bundle dependencies specifically to that package JSON. And it's really easy to take this from one project, move it to another if you need to copy, paste it, whatever. Individual extensions that are tied in the top level are a lot harder because you can't have your own dependencies. You'll have to add them to your main project. And then if you copy that and move it to another project, you're going to run into an issue where you don't have that dependency anymore. It's not an issue when you have the bundle. So, and I'll show you kind of an easy developer setup flow for developing modules within here, watching the files, letting it regenerate, and then the whole app kind of reruns. It's nice and easy, so yeah. I think I should be able to connect now. Now watch this. This tables are all empty. Oh, there's my secrets. Don't tell anyone. Okay, so back to our docs. We created the database. If you run it locally, you can just use, if you're using Postgres locally, you just do create DB Directus. Optional, you can add the support for location data. I don't want to do that yet. If I want to add that later, I could do that. It seems pretty easy. By run it, you just grab the SQL and run it in the command in there somewhere. Okay, run npm install Is it npm install or is it a yarn lock? I'm not on the right version. Okay, so if you get these errors, obviously I need greater than, is it use? nvm use v18. I have an alias set up for version 18. There we go. I should add an nvm use in there. npm install. We'll let it do its thing. And then what was next? Oh wow, that was pretty fast. I think I have all the packages downloaded already though. Okay, npx Directus bootstrap creates local folders and runs initial db setup, one-time setup, or one-time step. So this will allow us to basically build all of the tables in our Postgres. Schema access permissions. Oh, that's not good. So, no such file or directory? I haven't had this issue before. Let me remove the node modules and do it again, just in case. That was the issue? I don't know. Because I started to install it with an old version and then it didn't work right. That, or maybe we are missing something in the init. And that was it. Cannot find module. I think it's having errors loading one of the extensions. Couldn't register bundle. Ah, yes. Okay, I know what that is. So that ran all of our database commands. This is separate. This is because I included the bundle, but it didn't, I haven't built it before. I need to build it once before. That's why it was giving those errors. Normally it would start here, right? Initializing the bootstrap, running all the migrations. This usually runs pretty quick. It runs quite slow for me when I do it in a SQLite. I don't know why. Let me see if I made a... I think I made... Yeah, extensions or build. I should probably do a... Should I run a build first? Like do an npm i and then change into the extension, build it, or install it and build that as well. And then you do the command. Let's try that. npm run build. Bone cracking? Oh yeah. Bone cracking. So this is changing into the extension directory, installing its dependencies, and then building the thing. So then now if I ran like this bootstrap, I shouldn't see that first error. Yeah, nice and clean. So load the extensions fine. I already have all the stuff installed, so it's good to go. So those are some things I would like to add back to the repo, but I'll do that later. Okay, so now we're basically ready to get it up and running. The tables will all be created. Here they are. Boom, boom, boom. Directus everything, right? So we know it's hitting our database. To get it deployed up here, what I can do is I can make a new empty service, go into the weird name thing, go to settings and scroll down, and you can change the name here. I'm going to call this Directus admin. How did it know? I guess there's some other stuff you can set, but I don't think we need anything else. The start command is always going to be the start command. It's going to detect that it's a node project. We do need to add our environment variables. Okay, so let me, how do I save this? There. Okay, so now it's called Directus admin, which makes sense, right? A little more sense. And then you can create custom domains for it to be visible. So for example, I will generate a domain. Directus admin production. I'm going to end up tying this to a custom domain at some point, but I'm not going to do that right now, I don't think. I don't know what I want the domain to be. I think it'll be tutorials-api.cheddev, and then you'll actually visit the front end on tutorials.cheddev, which I can also run in this project as well. So I'm running the Directus admin. So this would be is tutorial. Oh, mic's down. I gotta get a better mic stand. I'm sorry. Ghetto. Tutorials dot. That's kind of funny. So since Railway is Chad dev tutorials API. How's that? That's fine. We'll add a custom domain later. So if you go here right now, there's nothing there, but we about to put it there. Okay. Oh, I do want to go to variables. And there's no shared variables in here. Oh, one thing that got me was you can click this. I can configure shared variables, and then I go in here, and then I can say like, no wait, it's not this. Maybe I'm thinking of a different project. I might be getting it mixed up. So you can do new variable. I like to do raw editor because I usually paste a bunch in at once. But I'm going to do this privately. So I'm going to go pull the variables that I had from my .env file, the ones that I created. I'm going to paste them in. I don't need all of them. A lot of it was commented out. And that's fine, it won't add those. I won't need like the extensions auto reload in there. I'm just looking through these. I'm going to update the public URL to be that one that we just named. What did we just name that? Ched-dev-tutorials-api.up.ret. You know what? I have it on this freaking next page. Should have just copy pasted it. Unlike any amateur. Was there supposed to be no slash on the end of the public URL? Okay. I'm going to take out the port and the host because I shouldn't need those. Okay. And then I'm going to update variables. Okay, so it took in all of my variables. Let me bring my screen back. Oops. Actually, let me make sure my Ooh. Ooh, that scared me. Oh, Dad, hello. Waka 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 waka. I gotta turn that one down a little bit. That is pretty loud. Hey, Axel, thank you for the follow. Odat. Shout out to your boy, Odat. I decided to start streaming late tonight. Detached Head Steak, welcome. Thank you for the follow. So I did get to see Odat for a little bit before I stream, which was nice. I downloaded that one, but I haven't added it yet.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Oh boy.
Oh, I was gonna say, I feel like you're ending kind of early. I'm sorry, buddy. Go lay down. Feel better. Stream Deck is great. I set it all up before this, so I got a lot of sound set up. I set up all my scenes and stuff. I went live with the push of one button. That amazed me. Amazed me. So, yeah. It was a good purchase. Thank you for showing me. Check out Odat if you've never seen his channel. He streams a lot more frequently than me. I'm usually hanging out in his channel, probably lurking a lot, but I do chat sometimes. An unofficial corporate shill. Deep legal. Thanks for the follow. Is that like legally binding kind of thing? Legal? That sounds scary. Should you be following me? Deep legal? And what was I doing? Sathandris, thank you for the follow. Y'all feeling follow me tonight. Everybody's quiet, but they like to follow, huh? That's cool. That's cool. So here's all my new... we're working on Directus. Sorry, I should tell you what I'm working on. I'm working on a Headless CMS. I'm just installing it right now on Railway. Railway is a Heroku-like platform that charges you a little bit differently, but we're just getting it up right now. We got our Postgres up. We got our code ready to be pushed up right now. I just added the environment variables, and so now we can deploy here, and then hopefully it should be running. We should be able to see it. Told them you're my new hero for this project you're working on. I bet Odat could build one and launch it quicker than me. Anyway, yeah, I could, I hope it'll happen soon. Nah, I don't think you talk too much. You got a lot of projects going on, you know? Me too. I mean, I'm jumping around a lot. I'm trying to slim it down to just like a couple, like 2 at a time, because I usually do get bored, so I'll jump from one to the other. But I've just been kind of jumping around to whatever I feel like working on, you know? I've got a lot of projects, just like you would at a house. Oh, so it's a Headless CMS. It's going to power our video tutorial site, which is where we'll be hosting videos for how to develop in Directus, which is what we're building on. So, you know, we're building it as we eat it. Dog fooding. That's kind of that's where I was going with that, dog fooding. And then this won't be the actual content on the site. I plan to record some nice recorded videos, shorter, concise, not a lot of random junk going on in the background, like sounds or raids or stuff like that, you know. Little bits of things to do in Directus. Directus has really great documentation for a lot of the users who are like maybe the marketing users or the content people, but not the most fleshed out developer documentation, which is fine. It's still a great platform. They're a small team. They're trying to make money, so it's not the forefront to get the developers the best documentation because it's not it doesn't generate revenue, I don't think. This is an open source project, and it's free to self-host and self-install. So that's what we're doing. We're doing it on Railway, so it's actually $5 a month. But ODAT, where do you host your stuff? You say you have one server where you host a lot of your stuff. I took all mine down and put them on free tier for a while when Heroku kind of went down. And then now I'm on Railway. It's $5 a month for the plan, the basic, I think they call it. And you get $5 a month usage credit. So you have to pay the $5, which I was confused by. But you'll get the $5 usage credit, and they charge you per usage. So I'm up to my 4th site on it now, and I'm staying under my $5 usage, I think. So yeah, but we're about to deploy this and see it. Let's do this. Set up your project locally. I think I'm already signed in. Let me see. Open the browser? Yeah, let's open the browser. Success. Okay, still nothing here yet. I'm going to link it to that project. And then, not get, I'm going to Railway up. And it's going to go... ODAT lurking? Alright, thanks, buddy. I don't have any sound clips on here for you. Let's take a hydrate break.
Hydrate level 4, please.
I have that one. Hydrate level 4, please. Check out this new sticker I got from Denver Script Meetup. JS, and that's the Colorado flag, or no, Denver flag. That's tight, huh? CJ made that. Coding Garden. How do you spell Coding Garden? Key 9byte, thank you for the follow. They do a thing, learning Svelte. Yeah, so he's practicing it. That was the talk, the speech, I was going to say, the speech he gave, but it was really the talk that he gave at the meetup. He did an intro to Svelte, basically covered all the documentation in a matter of 30 minutes, 40 minutes, I don't know. Maybe even 50 minutes, I'm not sure. But it's, I want to say Denver's only coding meetup now because of COVID. Like, so many died. I don't know any other ones, but I am only involved in the JavaScript communities. There might be a different community that has some going, but even just for JavaScript, that was our only meetup that was geared towards JavaScript, and it's back now, which is nice. So that's cool. I think this thing fails on here. It kind of hangs. I don't know why. My thing might be outdated. Okay, let's see. Can I refresh? Not found. Still deploying? Why can't I click on it? There we go. Oh, it's up. Not found? What does that mean? Is there like logs anywhere? Oh, there's view logs. Update available. Oh, do I need to update this to be like localhost? Or upload directory is not read-writable, that's fine. I have a feeling I was just waiting. Okay, there it goes. So this is it. You sign in, and there's your content. There's no content yet, so you can create collections, basically make all of our data structures, which we're going to look into in a minute. First, I want to change my password before I forget. And that happens in my administrator. Did that change it? Let me log out to test it. No. Oh my god, did I type the wrong frickin' password? I just locked myself out, didn't I? Amateurs. And I don't think did I set up the email correctly? We'll see. Probably not. I might have to wipe it and start over. Ugh. Maybe it just didn't save it. Well, that sucks. Let me see. Is it gonna give me anything? So my key is wrong. My SendGrid, oh my, not my SendGrid key, but my if you have an account, we sent you a secure password. Let me fix one of my variables. Well, that's weird. Let me just wipe the database. I think that's the easiest. And we'll have to update. Um, no. Okay. I think I have an idea for a fix. Let me see real quick. Um, I can never remember. How do I switch databases? Oops. Okay, I can't switch the databases. I thought I would just like rename it and drop it, but that's not really, doesn't seem like it's gonna work. All right. So I'm gonna recreate the Postgres. I will delete this one. I'll create a new database, Postgres. Click into it. With the new database, I will go find the connection data. I wonder if there's a way to just do a database URL for Directus. They use different ports each time. Okay, close that. Let me update the variables in here in my I don't really know why the sync is not working. Update the database variables in my Directus admin app. We will deploy when you're done. Redeploying. Okay. Oops. And then, once it's done redeploying, I'll have to bootstrap it again. So we'll do npx directus bootstrap, right? Waiting on the deployment. It took us 15 minutes to figure that out, to get it all reset. How do I use... Like, can I reference an environment variable in another environment variable? I know I can do that kind of locally, but will that work when I do it on Railway too? Because then if I redid the database, I wouldn't have to update the environment variables with the new database strings. If I'm pointing it to the other one, then I could just do that. So there's like a shared, I don't know how I did it. Add a variable reference. Yeah, I think this is it. See, I can reference from the other services. Value or $ref. Ah, that's how I do it. That's what I should have done. Okay, is deployment done? Yes, looks like it's done. Now let's bootstrap again. 7 versions behind. You'll see when it runs that we didn't have tables in here originally. Now we're getting some. Users created. Refresh. Is this back yet? It is. Okay. Okay, so we signed in. Let me write my frickin'. Oh yeah, password. Should I sign out? I don't know, it didn't work last time. All right, it worked that time. Okay, well, I think we're up and bootstrapped. We're on 10.3.0. This is the admin interface. We're gonna go in and create some collections, create some data and all that. But first, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and take a break for a second, come back, and then we'll come do the next part, huh? Don't forget to hydrate.
Hydrate level 4, please.
Okay. I'm gonna BRB. I'm gonna try my new BRB button. Watch this. Mellow. Does my back button work? Oh my, it does. Oh, let me fix my hair. Thank you. Sithandrus, thank you. Let me turn the music back down. How's that? Is that okay? Next task. Task next.
We have to get on, we have to get on. We have so much time and so little to do. Strike that. Reverse it.
I like that one. Okay, now we're going to create our schemas. Topics and video page. So, I wrote these out a while ago. This is a video page. Let me kind of pull them up to the top. And topics. Some of these fields we won't have yet, but these are the two ones that I'm looking at building tonight. The video page will have a status, like that's like draft, you know, etc. A video URL, which I will hook up to Vimeo at some point. I'm probably just going to use it as a placeholder for now. A slug, title, description, runtime, number of like seconds that it's running, minutes, seconds, content body. This should actually be lowercase. Runtime. Content body, which would be a WYSIWYG. Thumbnail, allow you to pick a file. Topics, this were the many-to-many setting we're going to set up today. And, allowed roles, many-to-one role. I think that's right, many-to-one. Quiz questions. Well, many-to-many. Many roles can view many videos. All right. Quiz questions and video updates, those will kind of come in the future, so I'm going to kind of cross those out. X. I don't want to uppercase it. Thank you. And then same here. Quiz questions won't have it, but it'll have video pages. Oops, I do want video pages, and it will have content pages, but not yet. Okay. Allowed roles. I think this is a many-to-many role. Okay. I'm going to make topics first, and then we'll come back and add video. Topics will be things like JavaScript, Directus, front end, back end, you know, those kinds of things. They do have an option for tags in Directus. You can have a tags field, but that one doesn't, I don't think you can like search it and like reverse search it. So I can't say like, give me, well, I probably could. Like if you land on a topics page, you know, and you're like looking at JavaScript, I can look up directly on the topics, like all the reverse connections. So like the tags or the topics will be tied on the videos. So I can say like, give me all topics and attach all the videos. Otherwise I would have to query each of the individual kinds, like query the videos and say, give me all the videos that match this tag, or give me all the content pages that match this tag. I don't know. I'd be interested to see it both ways, really. So another thing I don't think you can extend. So if I create my own topics model, I can have other data associated with it as well. So I can make like a topics page, which should actually have, yeah, it has a title and it should have a description as well. Why is it trying to fix everything all of a sudden? And then maybe even like a content body. I think this is made a description. I need to find a good way to shoot. It's probably going to have a lot of this stuff. It'll have a slug, a title description. It won't have a runtime. And it won't have like allowed roles. Let me paste this and remove runtime. Oops. You know when I do shift, and normally I do shift command right to go to the end of the line, but it doesn't work in Notes app for some reason. That's weird. Okay, so that can have a thumbnail too. I think that's all I'll need. Nice thing about Directus, adding or removing or changing columns. Well, you can't really change columns, but you can add and remove columns pretty easily, even after the fact. So say we want to add more data to this later, it all happens in the interface. It's scary at first. I know, because you're like, that's not possible, but it's possible. There's some weird things you can do, I think, but if you approach it like from a data standpoint, imagine, even though you're using an interface, imagine you have to fill out everything. You have to go through everything. So they have this kind of short way to do things real quick. There's still standards you're going to apply to. So for example, in the naming, I'm going to do topics. If I wanted to name it multiple, I would do like topics underscore something, right? Just because you're in a UI doesn't mean this is like a text friendly. You can't do topic things. If I type space, you'll see it gives me an underscore. I personally hate to have like caps in there like that, so I usually always follow underscore, method. And I do plural because it's holding topics, not just topic. You can treat it as a single object. Name the collection and set up its unique key field. Yes, so this will be what we'll kind of query it on. A singleton option, so if I treat it as a single object, I already moved over my, yes, creating schemas, okay. Treat as a single object, it will give you a singleton, so it's kind of like I'm gonna create one later on where I'll do that for settings, basically, for like site settings or something. You do end up using that quite a bit. I won't use it here. The primary key field is ID, always, and you can choose what kinds you want. They default with the auto incremented integer, which is kind of a bummer. I wish it had UUIDs all the time. But you can also do a custom string. That's interesting, manually entered string. But I would recommend either UUID or one of pretty much everything, but manually entered string. The primary key field could be the slug, but no, I'm gonna do that later. So also because we're doing it in the admin here, we still have a lot of rules around it to set up. So do I really want a UUID? Yeah. So you pick a UUID, like if you're gonna have a lot of items. An integer has a limit of like, it's a lot of items to begin with. What is it? 160,000 or is it more than that? Limit. So I think this is the default is int. So 214, 2.1 billion? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 2.1 billion. Okay, so it's even higher than I thought. And then big int is like way up there. UUID is always a unique ID, so it should theoretically be endless, right? That's what I've assumed. But even then, I mean, these topics aren't really going to have... I'm not going to have a ton of them. I'm just trying to wonder if there's any difference between doing an integer or not. I've done UUIDs for a long time. Oh, I guess, so there could be an issue with integers. So even if you don't have 2.1 billion whatever, right? Say you, every time you create a new thing, you're gonna, it's gonna increment. And even if you delete old things, it's still incrementing. It's not going back and using those old numbers again. So if you had 2.1 billion changes, then that could go over the limit too. I just don't know why you would do it. Maybe it's a little more less data intensive or something. Okay, so when you create a new collection, you also have these kind of like meta fields they give you. So you can have sort for a custom sort. Topics probably will want that. I like that they have this here because these are kind of the fields you don't think about that you might want to end up adding at some point. But the benefit of doing them here versus your own is like, okay, for the sort field, it's going to allow this collection to be sortable in the admin interface, and I can use the admin interface to sort it. So that's nice. Status, this is like the draft status, published, etc. They have their own kind of defined names. It'd be nice to stick with their common convention, right? I always do created, updated. I don't know if I really care the user that created it, because ideally it's always going to be me. It's not going to be other users, and then user updated, same thing. So if it was user created and updated data, then I would probably track this as well, because that could be like your author field or something like that. There will not be an author for the topics. Okay, so we got that initial stuff. We're good to go. We've got topics here. It's still letting us add more fields. There's a lot more settings that we can change in here. If you want to get fancy, you can do like icons for it and stuff, which they're pretty proud of. Topics. It's not a tag, but you can search for things in here. There's so many icons, it's kind of hard to find them. Because I feel like the names don't really match up. I'm kind of looking for like that sale tag thing. Can anybody out there? I should add that. What's the perfect topic icon? Yeah, tag. See? And they call it cell. Like, what? Who's going to search for cell for that? That doesn't make any sense. I can choose what color I want it to be. I like to do green, I guess. The display template is... Where's that shown? I don't know. We'll leave it blank. You can hide it within the app. Change it to a singleton now. That's cool. You can change it later. You don't need to set it up right away. That's good. I don't understand the naming translations very well yet, to be honest. I need to come back and figure those out. Preview URL. I don't know what that is. I'll need to look into that too. You can archive a collection as well. Or you can... Actually, so archive is a really interesting feature. I don't think they kind of show you how it works, or like once you know how it works out of the box, it's kind of cool. But basically, archive is like, is this item archived or not? And allows you to show it or hide it from the UI based on that. So say you have like a lot of pages or content or something, and at some point they become archived and you no longer want to see them. Like maybe it's support tickets and then they get closed. And once they're closed, you don't want to see them anymore because you don't want to be searching through a whole list, right? So you can use the status and you can, or one of your fields. If you have your own field, you can pick whatever it is. And then you can match it up to the column. And then I think that's just, status and then the value. So this is the column and this is the value. They have a predefined one called archived, but I won't actually need it in here. Unarchived, so you can bring it in and out. I wonder if that triggers an action of it archiving and unarchiving. But this enable app archive filter, if you turn it off, it will always show everything. If you turn it on, it will filter out the archived items. So this was a really cool feature that I discovered, and I had to play with it before I understood what it did, but I think that's pretty cool. Default sort field. Again, if you check that sort when you created this, they're going to set that for you. Accountability. This is really nice because it logs everything that happens on this data too. Like just setting this up alone in any of your APIs is a pain in the ass. This can track activity and revisions, like revisions that happened. If you're working with a content team and different people are making changes to the content, it can track those revisions so you can see who made what. You can only track activity. Like I probably don't need revisions. If I want to keep my database slimmer, a little slimmer, like I can only track activity. I don't think I need to track anything on here. Usually I end up, I think, going to this by default. But I don't know. I'm trying to think of a reason why I would need it, especially for like topics, and I'm not sure. So I definitely don't think I'll need revisions. And activities, like if you really want to see other people are using it, like making changes to it, or viewing it, or those kinds of things, like an audit log, that you can track that activity as well. Okay, so here's one thing. If you want to see, there's a reporting dashboard in here called Insights. You can create insights. So I bet you can make reports on how many edits are happening, like by what users, what revisions. So that could probably add some valuable data for you if you wanted to track that. I won't have people creating topics, so I don't think that would matter. I don't think I'll need this for this site. I'm going to not track anything at the beginning of it. I want to try to keep the database a little smaller. I think that could add up over time, but I'm not doing a lot of edits, so.
Hydrate level 4, please.
Yes. Okay. And the duplication, I still don't understand what this does. They say, oh, it duplicates the field. Like, what does that mean? It duplicates the field. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out someday. I don't think I changed anything. I'll save it up top just in case. But now this is managing the data models in here. If I go here, I can see, oh, there's the actual topics. And if I go to create an item, I didn't add any of my other fields yet. So yeah, they have draft, publish, and archive. I don't understand why it's in that order, because it's not alphabetical. I don't know. And again, these statuses don't really matter. It only matters when you're consuming it. You'll still have to say, like, show me only ones that are published, or show me ones that are only draft mode or whatever, right? That'll be up to you to check. This is just kind of the data management side here. So let's add our other fields there. So we have topics. In here you have your basic kind of field editor, and you'll see how some are full width, some are half width. You can change this with the little 3-dot drop down. So you can change the size of it, and that changes how it's viewed when you're creating. It's not totally obvious right away, but another customization, which is super nice. You can see the hidden field signs. That means this is not shown in the input. So for example, when I go here in the content and I create, the only field I can see here is status. And that's because these other ones hide by default. So ID hides because you can't edit that. Sort hides because it's going to be handled in the list. And then date created, date updated, those are created automatically. So those are going to be hidden as well. But let's create new fields. So you can create the main field or create a field in advanced mode. It's up to you. I usually start with create field in advanced mode, because if you do create fields, you get kind of this, actually, I don't always start. I do use this sometimes. If you go create in advanced mode, there's a lot of different things you can do in here. Look at this. Standard field, presentation, and aliases. So these are like types of fields, which are kind of hidden behind in here. You pick by like your data type, and then they'll kind of pre-configure things for you. When you create in advanced mode, you can choose specifically which one you want to do. Presentation and aliases. That's interesting. Field group. So if you want to group multiple fields together, I'm not sure how that looks. You can do a single file, multiple file upload. This is kind of a shorthand for a lot of the common ones. Many to one, one to many, many to many, many to any. Many to any allows you to go to any type of content. So say I wanted to add many connections to a video page and a content page and a topic. Really, it's more like if you have different types of contents that you want to get in, associate all to one thing, you can do that and then kind of figure out how you want to display it or handle it later. It's really flexible. I haven't used one yet. I do think it could be really useful for, like, if you're building kind of a block style layout, you're many to any, and then you can say, okay, I want to add a header, and I want to add a carousel, and I want to add this and that. You can kind of use that to generate that kind of interface through here. And translations. So let's start with the create fields. What field did I want to make? I gave it a status. I need to give it like a title, video URL, slug, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So it's going to be text for the first one. We'll call it title. Type is string. That's when you select this input, they're basically doing that for you dynamically. Choosing some of the pre-configured options, right? So a string, just plain text. I think this comes through in Postgres as a text, which is a lot bigger, not like varchar 255 or anything. But then there's also a text where you can call it text, I guess. Unless there's a bigger type of text, I'm not sure. Default value, usually always set to null. So you don't have like a bunch of empty values in your database. You can require it to be set on creation, which I do want to do. Video title. That's placeholder text. I can give it custom icons, which I've done before. It's kind of fun to go through text, header, heading. There's like, I see, like, this needs to be fixed, in my opinion. I know there is like a big T that I've used before. Anyway, I'm not going to waste my time finding it right now. You can add an icon to either side. They're basically using that here to kind of control these things. This is a translation. So so I can make more translations for it. It's pretty cool. And you can save it right away or continue in advanced mode. I always do continue in advanced mode. It basically pre-populates these fields for you. Advanced mode, because there's a lot more options in here. Oh, see, so like this, I can set a length. 255 is pretty short. I'm wondering if I create it, will it limit it at 255? I don't know. Sets a default value, and then sometimes you won't want to allow null values. By default, it allows null values. So a lot of times I come in here and check this off, and that forces it to be required. So if someone tries to submit it and it doesn't have this data, it's going to error for them. So you'll get a lot of your rules and restrictions in this advanced panel. And there's a lot more options than they show you in just that basic one. Value has to be unique, so if you want to have uniqueness, in this case, I think I do want the value to be unique, but I wonder if that adds or removes like an index that I don't really want on there. But I will want that for the slug, which I'm going to do next. You can get in deep into the field options, like what kind of field do you want to show. Disable editing value, so once it's set, people can't edit it. That's good for something like a slug, where if you're generating page URLs on slugs, you don't want to change it, and then that old page is now linked, broken, you know, those kinds of things. Maybe there's some kind of value you pre-populate that you don't want them to change, etc. Require value be set on creation and hide on detail. We had those options before. We had the note, and we had field name translations. Field name translations. I don't know how the translations work. I've never really used them. So you can do that. Field name. Okay, because it's normally title. So if it was something else, like French, I could put like title. I don't know the French word for title. It's kind of cool. So you make them in there. The interface is how people are going to input things into it. So it predefined the input, manually enter a value text thing. If you uncheck this, there's a lot of options. I'm not going to do it because I think it could. No, I only have this. So let's see. If you uncheck this, you can see you can pick any other option types. So say this is a title, but I only want to restrict them to a few set of options. I can do a drop down. It would be silly to kind of do that, because then I should have made it. Well, it's basically like a status field at that point, right? It wouldn't be that silly. Autocomplete API. Ooh, that's cool. I don't remember seeing that one before. Type ahead for external API values. You do codes, colors, icons, maps, radio buttons. So if I want to give multiple choices, yeah. But it defaults to the one I want there. Soft limit. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know what that does. I can change the font style. Like, since it's the title, sometimes I do like a serif font or a monospace font. We'll see that in a second. Hide the real value. That's cool. Mask it. Trim it. I always check trim for like string values, right? I don't want any extra space on the beginning and the end. Cleared value. I can save it as an empty string or choose to save it null. Make entered value URL safe. That's going to come in handy for our slug thing. Slugify. In display, when we're displaying the data in the table, how do we want to show it? Default is just like plain text. That's fine. I can do raw value. That's what we would get anyway. Formatted value is interesting because I can do additional changes to it. So like I can actually show it as a serif font the way that I input it. I can force it to be bold or italic. I can add prefixes, a text prefix and suffix, colors, backgrounds, icons, borders, conditional styles, which are really cool. That unexpected white space has been a source of many bruised forehead. Yes. Trim it if you can. I often forget to do it when I write code manually, so I like that they have it in here that I can go see it like, oh yeah, I want to do that. I always forget about that, right? So they'll do it for me, which is nice. Anytime I send something to the API, I don't have to worry about it because they're going to do it for me. Conditional styles are really cool because you can say, okay, when the value equals or contains, ends with, start with. I'm surprised it doesn't have like greater than or less than. Maybe because it's not a number. I think it should have greater than or less than or, well, 2. And then you can set the value. So you're kind of setting a lot of like validation rules directly in here in the admin as well that they'll handle for you. I can change the text to override. So I've used this for some content where maybe it didn't end with something or it did, or no. So I was doing it on the fortunes on the other thing. Always trim. If there's nothing to trim, you've lost nothing. Yes, exactly. So on my fortunes API, I was using this where I wanted every single fortune to end with a period. And there's 2 ways I can handle that. One is I can force them to have a period on the end so that it's perfectly set, or I can force it not to have one so I can add my own at the end anyway. But basically I added a conditional rule here to say, okay, if it doesn't have a period on the end, I'd say if doesn't ends with period, or I don't remember which one I did, then show an icon, and I had like the exclamation point icon, and you can change the whole color of it if you want to, like make the whole thing red or something so that it really stands out if you go see it. I'm not going to do discard changes. Yes, I'm not going to do any conditional styles. Additional validation. I've never really used this one. So these are just, oh, there it is. Less than or equal to, greater than. Wow, matches reg expression. So just any additional validation you want to do. And I can do and or groups and stuff. Custom validation message. I think this is just if it's wrong, it'll be generic. I think they added this because people were doing a lot of validation rules, like it's gotta be longer than this and have that and all that. So here you can write that custom validation message. So instead of it saying, this field's invalid, it tells you this field requires 8 characters and blah, 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 kind of like a password type thing. You can say all of the requirements in the custom validation message. But I've seen people complain about that you can't do it like if it's missing one of the rules. So say you've got 3 different rules in there, it doesn't tell you which one you're missing. It just says you have to follow these rules, right? It's not that flexible, but this is totally fine for the time being. I think you could return a custom error message that you then say, okay, if I get this error message, I know I have to look at the value and compare or something like that. But again, I won't do any validation. Conditions, what do conditions mean? Name rules. This seems fancy. Are these like conditional fields? I don't know. We're gonna have to get into conditions someday. Okay, but that's it. All that just for a title. Well, the main reason is I wanted to tell you all of the different fields. Quick little hydrate. So now, if I came in here and I tried to create a new one, you'll see I have the video title, and you see the text is kind of sans serif. This is my first post from the admin of the Directus dashboard. And it's kind of, since it's a title, it could be kind of fancy, you know? I kind of like that. Because then it helps you picture a little in your head, like, oh, it's going to be the title on the site. I think you can hook up previews, so you can hook them up to actual templates and stuff like that, which is nice. What's up here? Save and stay. These are just kind of options. Save and create new, discard all changes. But I don't want the status draft up there first, right? I think I want the title first and then the status. So if we want to change the order, we can just drag and drop these guys. Actually, I think I want the title first, but since none of those other fields are shown, I'm just going to bring the status down here. And that should save it automatically, right? Yes. Okay. The status doesn't need to be full width. So you see here it's full width. To bring it down, I can do half width. And then the next one I want to create is, can I duplicate a field? Yes. Oh, but I don't want it to be the exact same. I want to go through all the stuff again, right? Do they have slug in here? No. Okay, so I'm just going to call this one slug. It'll be a string. The value will be required to be set on creation. It can be null. It can't really be null. I don't need a default value, but I'm going to edit that in the... This is a slug URL. Link. And I'm not going to allow a null value because this will be required to be set. And the value has to be unique. String length is fine. Fields. I'm going to let you edit it. I'm going to go ahead and let you edit it because I'm not going to make the requirement yet. It doesn't need to be hidden. It doesn't need any translations or notes. Notes are little things that show up underneath. Like this, you know? Little helper. Interface. I kind of like these to be monospace. It's kind of fun to change the fonts for these individual fields because I think it helps me associate the data a little better than just seeing plain text everywhere. Trim at the start and the end. Gonna need that. Do not save as an empty. Make the entered value URL safe. That's a huge helper right there. It's going to strip out all the special characters and shit. Formatted display. I could do formatted. I like to display an icon. Filled variant. I don't really know what that means. And wait. No, that's formatting that I want to do. So I think a formatted value, font, monospace, no prefix or suffix. Well, I'll prefix it with like, see in this case, it could be /topics/ something, right? And I'm going to color, background color, icon, do the link. I don't need conditional styles, I think. No more validation or conditions. Boom. Okay. And this can be, yeah, it might be able to be half width. Let's see. This is a slug URL. So see how it's got like the monospace font, it's got the placeholder, the whatever. It would be nice to connect it to here. I don't know how to do that off of the, I don't think you can do it in this form actually, but I do think you can do it with a flow. You can say automatically generate this from the video title, but I'm not sure if I want to do that or not. So let's see, this is my first, oh no, this is a topic. Let's say like JavaScript. Topic number 1. JavaScript. I don't know if I would put like ECMAScript. Maybe I would do more. But let's save it. And then there it is. Oh my, oh my. So you'll see it's formatted here. It's in, it shows /topic/JavaScript. They also have an option for like a copy. I've seen someone add a field so you can like copy paste this value. Maybe that's in a newer version, I'm not sure. But it kind of shows the slug there. I would actually probably want, well, the title over here. And then the status at the very end. You can choose to add more columns here. Like if I want to show the sort, I can. Right now, there's no other items, so I can't really sort in between. I don't really love the display of this status, but I can change that. Date created and updated. I probably don't want to look at it here, but you can change that as well. How do I remove the field? That's interesting. You can change the style, like the page view. So if I wanted to see like when they would say these were blog posts, I wanted to see when they were all created, I can look at them in a calendar view. I don't know how you set that. Display template, start date field, date created, display template. This is like what the text you want to show in there. I would probably want to just show the title. 12:08 a.m. Oh, it's late. If there's an ending date field, first day of the week. Yeah, that's cool. And these save. I think it saves for everyone. I'm not sure. Kanban, map, table. I'm gonna go back to table. Here's the archive. Oh, I can show only the active items. I didn't realize I got changed in here. That's cool. Auto refresh, do not refresh. This doesn't need to, like, this is auto refresh this table basically in case you want to sit open there, and you can export it. And there's an activity log, which tracks everything here. I'm not tracking the this specific thing, so I didn't see any of the topics that I created here, or the changes that I made to it. I just see the fields changed. How do I get rid of that once it's there? That's interesting. Comfortable. I kind of like comfortable. Compact. Comfortable. Let's create another one real quick just so we can see the kind of sort order work. So there's JavaScript, TypeScript, and these don't really need to have statuses. Did I add a status? Published, draft. I never remember which one's what. So there's a way to change that. So if I refresh the page right now, I'll see JavaScript and then TypeScript, but if is it this how you change the sort order? Maybe not. I don't know how I change the sort order. Maybe I just need to maybe you can't set it through there. I thought, oh, there we go. I gotta click the little button first, and then I can boop, and then click it away. You'll see now they have a sort order. Boop, boop. Or I can sort them by these. Oh, I didn't know you could do that and change the text to be aligned. Ah, there it is, hide. Hide field. That's interesting, I didn't even notice that. Okay, let's see if we can change the status real quick. So if I come in here, this was the one that was automatically generated for us, so that's why we don't have like any kind of special display. Oh, I can default. Published, value has to be unique, nah. It is required to be set. I can, oh, there's the choices. I like them to be in that order. Allow other values? Nah. Allow no selection? Nah. Placeholder display. Here we go. So they do labels, show as dot, and then format each label. And then this chooses the color. A draft is white. I think I'd rather it be like grayish. Published. Is green. Foreground color and background color. Archived is I don't know. I don't plan to have archived, really. Make it yellow. So should draft be something other than white? Nah, it's fine. It's gray. I made it gray. Okay, so then now, come here, refresh it. There we go, that makes more sense to me. Show as a dot. Draft. Published. Okay, so we would add other fields here. What other fields did I want? I got the slug. So I got the status, slug and title, video URL. I think that might be video ID, but let's add it. Create a field. And I don't know if it's a number, plain text, or what. I'm gonna call it video ID. Oh, it doesn't need to be set because I don't have them right now. Defaults null. This will be a Vimeo video ID. Maybe I should call it Vimeo video ID. I don't think I care about any other icons. Let's see, is there anything else that needs to be? Let's say it can be null in case I wanted to do like a YouTube video ID as well, and then just whichever one is selected, that's what I'll show. If that's the case, I wouldn't really want to set it up like this, but you know. The value, wait a minute. I'm looking at video page, but I'm actually working on topics. Okay, so let's look at this instead. Slug title, description and content body. Yo, Owen! Let me start this one over. I messed that one up. What did I say? How's it going? Description. Text area. It can be longer. I don't think it'll be too long. But visually we'll show it as a description. So I can't choose anything other than text there. Pretty good. I wonder how long strings are. Like, is it only allowed to be 255, you know? I'll start with this one and then come back later. Value doesn't have to be unique. It doesn't need to be set. I don't need any notes. This might end up being, well, it'll be like a short description, I think. I don't know. I'm just adding it, whatever. Is there Vimeo? No. I was just curious. We're not going to put that on here. Trim, start, and end. There's a bug up here. Display raw value for now. I don't need validations. The interface, I want text area. Is that an option? Do I have to make it let's see, let's try it. Let's create another field, but let's do text area. We'll do description text. It's interesting, this one has like these more options, you know, but the other regular input didn't have that in here. Length, not available. Allow, null, value has to be unique now. I don't think I needed any of those. Yeah, see, they have text area here. I wonder why I couldn't select in the other one. I thought you usually can. Let's see if we can go back here. Interface. I should be able to select text, I think. A text area. But I'm surprised they don't let me. Okay, so I don't really want both of those. Because the description right here would be shorter. In this case, I want this one. But you can't rename a field after you already built it. So you got to delete it, start over. That's fine. So a description, trim it. And I don't think I did anything else fancy, right? I might end up making like a specific type for SEO. I think that's what they do in their demo, and I think I will end up doing that later too. Formatted version, we'll see how that looks. Okay. So we got a description, I'm gonna refresh. JavaScript is the best language on the internet today. Why didn't this update? Oh, I did. It's the right order. So since I added a new field, it's not shown there, I can add it like so. But I really don't care to see it. So let's remove it. I'll probably, I don't know. Okay, what else do we want to add? Content body, that's a WYSIWYG, and a thumbnail. So they have a WYSIWYG here. Oh, or Markdown. I like Markdown better. I think I chose WYSIWYG so I could put in like images or other things, but I think I just might make those fancy components. if I really want those. Let's start with Markdown. Content, Markdown. Toolbar, cool. I can choose all the items that I want to do. Don't need a placeholder. If I'm uploading files, I can say, if I set up multiple folders, like say anything that I put up in here, I want to put in a folder called topic images or something like that for organization purposes, I can do that. I don't have that set yet, so we can come back and fix that later. You can change that after or not have to worry about anything. It's just kind of a configuration option. Static access token is appended to the asset's URL. Is that just so anything can be public? I don't really know. Okay, field, don't need. Do I need any of these other options? What field is this? This is the Markdown. Markdown editor, nice. Editor font. You know, I've been kind of enjoying seeing the content in serif. Custom blocks. I am not familiar with that. That's worth looking into. I think I would want, well, auto format. I think that is like the Markdown auto format. I don't know. We'll just go with that for now. Let's see what, oops, their editor looks like, huh? Nice and simple. I wonder why it's purple. It's supposed to be? Is it because it's a heading? Yeah, probably. It does kind of like the inline formatting, I think. What happens if I view it in here? Which, yeah, that's the raw value. Or did I pick the formatted? I don't know. Okay. Content Markdown thumbnail. They might end up having like, you know, a cover image or something like that. You might have multiple, but if you want to find one quickly, just go boom. Image, I'll call it thumbnail. Crop image as needed, and I can choose which folder to put it in. It can be null, just for now. I don't need to create the one-to-many on the other end. This is our first relation. On delete of Directus files, nullify the thumbnail field. That's cool. So you can choose how you want it to behave. Very cool. Interface, file uploader, display. I'd like to show an image preview. I don't want to show the circle. I think it said I couldn't read and write up here, so my image uploads will fail. So I'm going to leave it alone. Okay, and then one more field is the video pages minute to many, but we haven't created that yet, so let's do that. Video page. How long have we been working on this? Almost an hour? It feels like it's been forever, doesn't it? Jeez. But we're going through it thoroughly. Hopefully you should know how to get this done on your own by the time we're done. Okay, video page. So now we have some topics. Let's make some video pages. We go back to the settings and the data model. We can create a new one and we can say video page. I'm calling it actually video page because this is not just a video that can be used in other sections, but this is its own page. If I wanted to do that, I could still do it, but its intention is to be a page. Primary ID is going to be a GUID because why not? And a video page will have a status. It won't have a sort within the video pages itself. It will have a sort like when you add it to courses later, but we're not going to build that schema just yet. We'll have a created and updated, created by and updated by. It's just going to be me. Finish him. Okay, so this one's gonna have, well, let's see, is there anything else in here we want to change? Oh yeah, what icons do we want? Camera. Video camera. I still don't know what display template's referring to. Not a singleton, no pre-URL. I'll keep the archive stuffed. There is no sort field this time because we didn't select one. Activity and revisions. I don't think I need it because I'm not going to be working with collaborators. It's just going to be myself. And I'm always a move forward kind of guy. I don't care to go back and look at something. So we'll save that. Okay, video page. That probably should have been video pages, huh? Should we go do that again? Naming is so important. It's good to have these rules. You know what I'm saying? Video pages, GUID. It's got a status. It's got a created and it's got an updated. And then we're gonna go down and we're gonna add the video icon. Why is there like 50 more video icons this time? Slow motion video? Nah, I kind of like that. I don't want to call it slow motion, but I like it anyway. And turn off the tracking. Okay. Now we are in there. And let's say we want this to be on top. Not like that, but on top, yes. There it is, video pages. So we can go create a new one, but there's nothing that we need in there. Oh, see, this draft. I have to fix that every time. Ugh, so annoying. Who decided to put that first, right? Okay, video page. Status. I'm gonna bring that down. Oops. I'm gonna bring that down and I'm gonna make it a halfer. Default is draft. Change the order so draft is on top. No icon, no placeholder. Draft, published, archive. Display. Change the choice order, and I'm gonna go back to the color. What gray did I pick? I don't know. I think I picked it. How did I pick it? There we go. Something like this. Okay, draft published is going to be that green color, and archived is going to be yellow. So I think you can change some of these settings, like these color theming things. There's a place in the admin where you can set CSS variables to change all those. I never really messed with that, but oh, hello, Mountain Trash Panda. How are you? Are you out scrounging for trash? Format each label, show as a dot. Yeah. What was that sound? Did you hear that? You're good. I think that's all I needed. Okay, status. Tired. I hear you, sister. Okay, we want a title. It's going to be a string. Required set. Video page title. Shit, it's a long day, right? Not allow null. It doesn't have to be unique. Set on creation. It can be edited. The interface will be input. No icon. I want serif. Trim it. Doesn't need to be raw value's fine. Okay. What did I show? Oh, I showed the slug next to it too. Okay. Input slug string. Default values null. This is a slug. The icon's gonna be the link. Create custom. It cannot be null. It has to be unique. It should be set on creation. And trim it. Make it URL safe. Make it monospace. And when I display it, I also want to make it monospace. Prefix with /videos/ and then show the link icon. No conditional styles or validation for now. Okay. How did I do it before? Did I show, can't remember what order I had things in. I think I had the slug and then the status next to it. Okay. Getting there. Well, I'm getting closer to finishing. We'll see. Yeah, it could be like another half an hour, maybe. Title, I want the description, runtime. Description is plain text. But it is a text area. See, I wonder if I should have made description markdown, but I think it's going to be more like a meta description. Doesn't need to be set. Trim it. I'll do monospace because I want to kind of imply that it needs to be, that it's going to be like metadata. Type text, it can be null. And it shows a text area. Display it, it's good to go. Next field is, oh, I need a video ID. Vimeo video ID. going to be a string. I don't know what video IDs look like, so. Let's call it like yeah, video cam icon. Create a custom. It can be null. The value has to be unique. Fields can be edited, all that stuff. The interface. This will be a monospace because it's kind of like an IT, you know. Doesn't need to be URL safe. You can display the raw value, but I'll actually show it as an icon for video cam, and it will be monospaced. I think that's it. And this won't need to be so big, so we'll give it a half width. We got the slug, I got the title, I need a runtime. I can put that next to it too. Input. I don't know, should the runtime be a number? I'd rather just type it manually, to be honest. And then, like, if I need to calculate shit. Minutes and seconds, or should I just do seconds? I'll just do seconds. Runtime seconds, I'll call it. And that'll be an integer. A minimum value is 0. Maximum, I don't really care. Step 1. I don't need a placeholder. I think I want... timer. Okay, create custom. It's an integer. It can be null, doesn't have to be unique. You can edit, don't need to hide it. So the note will be seconds. Well, I guess I don't need that because it says it in the title. Runtime seconds. Here's the minimum max. Display it as a formatted value. It's going to be monospace. One thing that kind of bothers me is when I select it, the font's up here, but on the other screen it's down at the bottom, and I kind of relate the two, so I feel like the order should be moved around. This should be lower than to match it. Because I pick them out of order. One time it's icon, then the font, and then another time it's the font, then the icon. Timer monospace. Okay. This can be a halfer, and that'll be next to it. Let's see how we looking. So when you create the schema, you don't need to just create the data. You're creating the form, so you should be designing how the form is going to look while you do it. Okay. Runtime seconds. It'd be nice if these could even go down to a quarter, but I don't think so. I don't think they can. I'll move the description down. Some things I don't notice until after, you know, like you see, like, oh, there's a bunch of smaller boxes. I should have them in a different order too. So I kind of like to design it as I go. Put the title first, just so I know what I'm looking at. This draft should default to, well, no, draft is fine. Video ID runtime, seconds, and there's a content body. I'll say content markdown again. Create field. Markdown. Content markdown. All items. It can be null. Editor font is serif. That looks kind of weird, to be honest. I'm so used to seeing markdown in monospace. I kind of like that. But let's try it. Let's keep on serif for now. Oh, and then the preview font can be different. Interesting. I want to preview in serif. Display, it's fine. All right, content markdown. Thumbnail, and then topics. Image, I don't remember where image is, so I always search for it. Thumbnail. And go into advanced mode, it can be null. The relationship's all good. Fields, fine. I do want to display the image. And that's it for now. And allowed roles and topics. So let's create the topics first. And that's a many to many. This creates an alias for us. The collection is topics. List or table, I'm not sure what that is really referring to. When you pick them, I guess. Enable the creating, enable selecting per page. I don't know. Junction fields location, interesting. Allow duplicates? No way, man. Show a link to the item. I always like to show a link to the item. Then I'll go into the custom, choose a relationship. You see it does some fancy stuff for you. Add an M2M on topics, which I do want to do. So instead of having to set that up there manually later, I can do it here when I create this. A sort field. I don't think I need a sort field. On delete, nullify. I like to nullify when I delete. Or actually, on deselect of topics, I want to delete the item. I want to delete the reference to it, basically, because I don't need it anymore. I want to delete all of them, I think. Yes, yes, yes. Cascade, yes. Layout is list or a table. We'll have to try the different ones and see what we like better. Display the related values. Okay. Let's see what it looks like. So I think, yeah, normally as a list, it displays in here as a list. So if I select both of these and I choose, okay, that's the display template. That's where it's messed up. Let's see, if I change this to, display template related value. See how I didn't show the related values the first time, but now I come back and it shows it? Now I can choose the display template. So now I can say, okay, I want to show the topics title. And the interface, let's show this as a table. So now, refresh, reload. I've never seen this view before. I didn't know you can show it as a table. That's interesting. Add existing or create a new one. Well, that's broken. Is that just because of... Oh, I have to add which fields to show? Interesting. I just want to show the title and the slug, I guess. I mean... Oh, enable search and filtering. Let's see what that does. Maybe I can search to find one, huh? Yeah, there's the title and the slug. Oh, so I can search and filter in here. Why wouldn't I want that by default? But I'll select all and I'll choose that. And then now I can see these are all the topics. So this view is a little, it's okay. It's okay. Let me save this as my first video. First video. It's a draft. I don't need any of the other crap, but I'll save it. And then I can change these things around. I would show that serif, I think. There's no Vimeo video ID, but I would want to show that. And I do want to show like runtime seconds, topics. I like to show the topic title. There we go. And it's kind of a weird way to show it. I wonder if that's what the display template's for on the collection. Well, it doesn't look the greatest. Let's see what this looks like when it's a list. I think I like a list better. And then display templates, how we want to show it in the list. We want to show the title. That's all we need. We don't really need slug. I was just wanting to see what it looked like. Okay. I didn't need to refresh that, but we can go in here. Yeah, show the list here. That's a lot easier to read, I think. Kind of wish we could show them side by side, but there's the link. Navigate to the item, remove it. So if I want to go directly to it, oh, and I can see here, there's my video pages. This should be, so on the data model, on the video pages, it added topics here. Wait, is that right? No, I want to go into the data model topics. It added video pages. And then I want to show this, and I want to show the display template as video pages. Let's show the slug. Yeah. Show link to the item. Videos, first video. That's cool. I was curious if it would show the formatted one. I think I actually probably want to show the title. I don't know, but it's pretty easy to change. And I can link back to there. I can just go back and forth. Back and forth. That's cool, yeah. So it shows the display formatting type in here as well. All right, I think there's one more field, and then we're good. Did I do the thumbnail? Thumbnail topics. Oh, allowed roles. I'm looking at the wrong one. Okay, so I want to be looking at video pages, and I want to, oh, I can make that half width. Is it going to be, they don't have anything for like permissions or access. I think it's going to be many to many, because many roles will be able to view many. Allowed roles. And this is going to point to system Directus roles. I'm going to show it in a list. I didn't really like that table view. If you need to see multiple values from it, I could see that, but if you don't, it probably doesn't need it. You can't create from here, but you can select, and you can't duplicate. I always like to show a link to the item, because why not? All right, there's a relationship. The role does not need to be tied back. When you delete one of these roles, I want to delete the video page Directus roles item, cascade. Cascade, I always want to delete it. It's not going to go delete that role. What it means is that it's making a join table in the middle, so you can see video pages underscore Directus roles. So video pages is the field we're on that page right now, and we're adding a roles. So it creates another table that joins those two. So what this is saying is, when I delete a role, do you want to just nullify the page in there, which would leave the row around and still point to a role, but have an empty page ID, which is stupid? I want to delete it. I don't want that connection to be there at all anymore. So you can have some excess data lying around if you don't get that right. Interface, list. I think these are all going to be the same. Related value. So you can fill after creating this field, which is weird because I create it. Let's go halvesies. Oh, that's interesting. It shows a link to the other side, I'm guessing. I don't know. Let's go halvesies on both of these. Half width. And now I want to go back and check the display template, and I want to show the role name. This could be good to show, like if I wanted to show also the role access, app access or admin access. I'm going to assume that I know those. Refresh. Ooh, not good. Sometimes I see that happen when you try to load up a content directly. So that's kind of a bug, lingering bug, I'd say. Okay, so here's the topics and then the roles. I could say like, oh, administrator. Didn't fix that one. Allowed roles, interface, display template. Role name. I thought I picked that. Dismiss. And you'll see it didn't load all the content correctly. Yeah. It's got to do with their rate limiting. Something about it. I think the defaults are too low or something. Okay, administrator. There you go. But I wouldn't need to add admins. They'll obviously be able to view everything. I think the idea is if you have a role, well, I don't know how I want to do it. I could either say, if there's no roles, allow anyone to view it. If there are roles, only these specific roles are allowed, except for admins. Admins will always be allowed. But yeah, that's it, dude. And I actually put deploy to Railway on there. I don't think I need to do anything special to deploy to Railway because we're running on Railway right now. I thought that I would make some code changes locally, but we didn't. We did deploy the site. So let's just act like we're going on to that next task, huh?
We have to get on, we have to get on. We have so much time and so little to do. Strike that. Reverse it.
But we've created our content. Did I save this one? I mean, I guess I'll save it, right? That's fine. Let me fill out some of this data. And I'll say, just to kind of see how it would look like. We don't have images or thumbnails. We don't need those. Like our status can be really small. The title's a little longer. I do kind of want the title to be displayed in a formatted value of serif. And I think that's it. I wonder if I can change this. See, now it's a nice serif font. Let's see. Display, title, and a space. Yeah, I still didn't have the space. That's interesting. It just uses the title. I think that's fine. But I feel like there should be a way to add oh. No, not in here. That's when you're selecting it. Interface is when you're selecting it, editing it. I guess I can't. Like I added a space there, but it's not showing it, you know? I don't think I need anything else. I think that's it. Let me see, can I add? Mirror. Oh, that's interesting. Something to look into. Okay. But there we go. We have all the content we want in there. It's running up on Postgres and Railway and Postgres up in the cloud. No, it's not really the cloud. I think that's all I wanted to cover today. Any questions before we go? We are deployed to Railway. We are on to the next task, which is the end of the stream, everybody. Don't forget, check out my repo. I've got to make some updates here. Hopefully I'll make them tomorrow because it's getting late now. And yeah, why aren't you wearing a hat tonight? Oh, I forgot. Thank you for asking. Well, I'm enjoying my new, what's it called? Here. It's not showing the viewers. My new little Stream Deck. It's been fun. We got some good schema-ing done today. We only did 2 of the schemas. This has got a pretty big schema. So we're gonna do a lot more configuration and everything in the Directus admin, which you're no longer looking at. But I also hope to make videos on all of these little individual features that you can do in here. So like adjusting the display value and how to fix these things. And that's what this video tutorial site's gonna host. It's gonna host all of these videos for Directus, plus other topics if I get into them later on too. But Directus seems to be the hot topic for me because people keep asking about it. So I'll stream again soon. Next time we will be working on integrating the front end to build out some of these, like request some of this data and actually get it on the front end. I'm gonna build it into an Astro site, I believe. We'll be using their latest API. I think the latest API, maybe an older one. Actually, no, we won't be able to use the latest API because I'm only on 10.3.0. If we want to use the latest API client, is what I'm referring to by the latest API, then I will need to upgrade to the newest version. We could do that as an upgrade little plan. Now that we've already started 10.3, I can upgrade it probably pretty easy. I'd like to see what kind of new features they've got in there. The new API library is the new features that they have, as far as I know, but there might be other stuff in there that we'll have to play with. So I will see you next time. Thank you for tuning in. St. Andres, have a good night. Catch you later. Almost 3 hours. Pretty good, pretty good. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Love you. Okay, bye. I have to hold. Right? Is that how it works? I don't know. I don't think my stream end button worked. So I'll just do it the manual way.